Hi, this is Lane 8492. This is the second of two true crime videos I'm doing today. This is segment two on Florida death row inmate Victor Tony Jones, who is set for execution this evening in Florida. As I previously mentioned in the first true crime video I did on Victor Tony Jones, he was convicted and sentenced to death for fatally stabbing an elderly couple who were his employers at their Miami business, 67-year-old Jacob Nestor and 66-year-old Matilda Nestor. And as I said, Victor Tony Jones had been hired by the Nestors at their business in Miami. And on the second or third day after he'd been hired, he decided to rob them and ended up stabbing the couple to death fatally. And of course, his execution was set for September 30th this evening at the Florida State Prison in Stark, Florida. He's launched his appeals. His lawyer said there was newly discovered evidence that Victor Tony Jones is mentally challenged due to fetal alcohol syndrome, and that he was a victim of abuse at the now defunct Okeechobee School for Boys Reform School. Which of course is one of the two defunct reform school for boys in Florida that were closed after they were plagued with abuse scandals, like the Arthur G. Dozier School for Boys up in the Panhandle in Marianna, Florida, and the Okeechobee School for Boys in the Florida Peninsula. The SCOTUS rejected the claim after his lawyer said that he was compensated for the abuse that he endured, and that it's newly discovered evidence. And the Florida Supreme Court not too long ago declined to intervene. And now the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, has also declined to intervene on behalf of Victor Tony Jones. Of course, I did a previous true crime video on Loran Kinsley Cole, who was executed last year. His lawyers also argued that he was a victim of abuse at the now defunct Arthur G. Dozier School for Boys that was closed down due to abuse scandals that plagued the institution. And many were compensated, but it didn't do anything to stop Cole's execution. And last year, Loran Kinsley Cole was executed for the brutal murder of John Timothy Edwards and for violating Edwards' sister, Pamela Edwards, who survived. And of course, the SCOTUS, as I previously mentioned, has declined to intervene on Victor Tony Jones's behalf, according to the Darien Times. Here's the thing. Being mentally challenged and suffering abuse as a child is still not an excuse for anybody to go out and wrench the life away from somebody else the way Victor Tony Jones did. It's not an excuse. There are people who grow up with abuse and who choose not to become hardened criminals or even violent criminals. They choose to live decent, normal, law-abiding lives and make something better of themselves and not let the mistakes of their past ever repeat. And that's why pretty much the appeals for Victor Tony Jones has failed. And his execution is at 6 p.m. this evening at the Florida State Prison in Stark, Florida, which I have previously mentioned before is about 40 miles west of Jacksonville. And from what I read is that the daughter of the Nestors says she has forgiven them. She has forgiven Jones, but she also plans to witness Jones's execution this evening. And probably so will the granddaughter. I'm not certain of that one. And pretty much Victor Tony Jones is all out of legal options that kept him alive on death row for years, and that there's nothing left for him to appeal. This is Lane 8492. I have an associate's, bachelor's, and master's degree in criminal justice. Hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think. Thanks.